All right, gang, welcome back to our Nutty Brewer series here in Normandy. It is April now, and I've already started process here of actually getting this field drilled. I've done a few other things off camera. We'll talk about that here briefly in just a moment. But yeah, this is a continuation of Z's adventure here. A bit of a pit stop on the way back home. I mentioned prior that we are heading back home here very, very soon for a series in Z's adventure, and that is still going to be the case, but we're taking a bit of a pit stop here in Normandy because we were given the opportunity to own, albeit a abandoned one, but own a brewery nonetheless, and I really wanted to take up that challenge, so that's where we're at now. It is April. It is rainy, very rainy April, and yeah, we're underway here. Now, a couple things I've done off camera here a little bit between now and the last episode. One, I did get lime down on this field. I did that off camera. You know, we are playing precision farming on, so lime is down on this field. I split this field into two. Now, for the first bit of time here, it's not really going to make that big of a difference, but as we continue to move along, it really will make a difference for us because we can kind of split these fields up into, you know, different halves, if you will. And this field is quite large, actually. It's gigantic, as a matter of fact. And I will show you that here just now. So this field is a really, really, really big field. And as you can see, splitting it into two makes it a little bit more manageable for the size of the equipment we currently have. Now, to be fair, all we're doing right now is really trying to put wheat in across the board because that's really the light beer is really what we're going to be focusing on first and foremost. Eventually, we will move into that dark or amber beer. But again, we're going to have to outsource some sugar to get that going, and we're going to wait before we get that started. So, again, for now, this is going to be wheat. This field right next to us is also going to be wheat. We're going to drill that one today as well. But in the future here, having these fields split is really going to help us, and we'll kind of get to that point when the time comes. But anyway, I did go up to the shop already. I've already purchased a couple other things. One, I don't know if you can see it or not, but I purchased a trailer. That trailer gives us the opportunity to be able to go to the shop and pick up some, you know, different products we need: seeds, fertilizer, lime, etc. I've done that. I've bought some seeds and fertilizer as well, and brought them back to. As you can clearly tell in the right-hand corner, we have money, and you can clearly tell that there is a missing building over there. Between the last episode, which the first episode that we did in March there was early March, and this is very late April, but it took the guys about a month and a half or so to get that the remaining bits, I guess, the stuff that we couldn't sell of the mill, down and removed. So nonetheless, it is gone. We did make some money off it. We did not make that much money. I can tell you it was around $130,000-ish that we ended up getting from the mill. So it was less than what I was expecting to get, but you know, it's something, right? It's something that helps get us to move along here a little bit better because we do have a lot of equipment that has a lot of wear and tear on them that's going to need service, and it's going to allow us to be able to do that and get these back into a situation where they can be utilized a little more frequently, right? At currently stands, we could certainly use them here early on, but as we move along here, they're going to get into a situation where they are in very, very bad shape, and they're going to start breaking down on us. So we're going to focus on that. We're also going to spend some money of that money that we have there on putting down some kind of a service area here in the brewery. That way we can just service our equipment here without having to take them all the way up to the shop. What else? Would like to spend some of that money and put down a shed to be able to put at least a few things in there. More specifically, the drill and the harvester, really. Those I would like to get under cover if at all possible. Anything else? What else am I missing? I don't know if there's anything specifically I'm missing, but I do want to bring one thing up here. Now, this is being recorded, obviously, before the first episode is live for everyone, but my members do get early access to it. And I did see a couple of comments from my members, specifically calling out the brewing mod that I'm using. That one up there in the corner there, you can see. And they said that it can be a little finicky. Evidently, the pig food that you get from it is a little weird the way it comes out, and it spawns a lot of it. So I kind of mentioned that, you know, we could potentially do some kind of pigs with it, right? And I still think that's the approach I'm going to go with, is some kind of pigs here for the farm. If it ends up being as big of a nuisance as they're mentioning, which it very well may be, I haven't tested it, very well may be, maybe we can figure out some way that we can, in essence, distribute that pig food elsewhere. I don't know if that would do the same thing for the the beer or not, but maybe it will. But either way, maybe we can figure out some way to distribute the pig food elsewhere that makes it a little bit easier for us to manage. I don't know. We'll see as we move along, but until we actually start seeing it spawn and see how bit of a nuisance it is, I really don't think it makes that big of a difference at current. But anyway, so this series, as I mentioned in the last episode, it's not a challenge series. It is kind of a challenge in essence because we're trying to bring something back to life, but it's not your atypical series that I would do that's a challenge. In other words, I'm doing an episode every single month, right? There are going to be situations here where there's 2-3 month gap between the last episode and this month, or in this episode, excuse me, or the current episode that you're watching. There's going to be that type of a situation here, and that's okay, right? I'm fine with that, but I just want to make sure that that's clear that is going to be happening. I'm not just going to be forcing myself to do a video every month just to say we're doing every month to keep it a challenge, right? We're going to be skipping months. If there's minor things to do, like if I just have to put some lime down, or if it's just a fertilizing, spreading, or whatever it may be, something that it's not really worth a video on, I'll probably end up just doing that kind of off camera and then come back with you whenever we have a lot more to do. And this series, again, it's not going to be a long series. I will tell you that. It's probably going to be somewhere around the 30-episode range. That's kind of what I'm hoping for and anticipating for this series. And then we'll kind of move on from there. But it's going to be a good one. I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And we'll see how things continue to progress here. Now, I will say that the plowing here, I did have to do a little bit of work up in the corner there, and then there's a corner down here on this area on the right side over here where I guess the tree's a little bit too close to the edge and the worker would not plow that up, so we're going to have to do some touch-up type of work, it looks like, for most of this field as we move along, or these two fields now as it moves along. So let me talk about this a little bit here and why I split this up a little bit more. So realistically, the way that I'm at least visioning all of this working out is we've got this field, which is relatively large, right? This field was gigantic. Now we split it into two. I would argue that these fields are closer to this size, but I still think this one might be bigger. Anyway, they're close. And then we've got this small grass field over here, which we're not quite sure what we're going to do with yet. I think for now, for the first year here, we're probably not going to do anything with it. This is the last month we can put anything in the ground. And honestly, I'd like to get both of these fields drilled with the wheat. That way we can really get, the light beer going, right? I think the problem we might run into here, which I'm already kind of seeing here, is that it's still going to think it's one full field, isn't it? No, I guess not. I don't know which way we're going here. All right, well, whatever. Anyway, I also added a little bit of some gravel down here just to kind of connect to the main road. I would love to utilize this gravel here that's on this main road. I really like this texture. I think it's a pretty unique texture. It's not in there, unfortunately, for us. I did check all kinds of different places to see and make sure that nothing was missed. It's not there, so not sure why. But anyway, we'll just have to play it by ear and deal with it, right? This also is a little bit of a weird hill here, so we're not going to be able to get all the way up there, and that's fine. We'll just get close enough. And as you can see there, I'm actually not even drilling anything on that side of that hill there because it's just too severe. Might want to come and have somebody come through here and try to smooth that area out, and maybe we can fix that potentially. I don't know. But it's an option for us to consider. This corner down here is what I'm talking about. This tree kind of just hangs over here a little bit further than it probably should. And the worker was just having a hell of a time with that and did not, unfortunately, get that all plowed up, so we had to take care of that. It's going to be a similar situation across the board, probably with harvesting and everything else, right? So we're just going to have to make a mental note there that we are going to need, to do that ourselves, right? Even if we put a worker on it, that is going to be a portion of it that we're going to need to do ourselves. How's everyone doing today? Hope you're all doing well. Things are as good as they can be given all the circumstances of what I've been saying lately. I don't want to get into that. I've got into it a lot, but all of those issues are still very much apparent right now. Still no complete update from work on what's going to happen there, but it appears, at least for the time being, I'm safe. So hopefully that continues to be that way, because I do need my job, unfortunately. I wish this was my full-time job, but that's not really realistic, right? So. Anyway. So we're cruising along nicely here. This Vulture is pretty nice, man. It really is. I think, so in the last episode I talked about, not being able to hook to the edge of this tire here. I think there's an attachment I have to buy. I keep forgetting about that. I think I've used it in the past, and I've just completely forgot about it. But I believe there's an attachment that I have to use to be able to make this work that way. In other words, to be able to pull it from the side of this tire. If you look in closely here, as you see, there's an attachment that you can use for like a trailer, right? You just put a pin down in it, and then it would hook into the back. But, yeah, I don't have that attachment. We could buy that attachment. But now that it's already here, I don't necessarily know if we really need to buy that attachment. As I mentioned in the last episode, my true goal here is going to be really to kind of keep this as close as we can to the main area. In other words, when I expand out, like we're probably going to expand out and buy 79 and 80 and then 86 and 111 and 110 as far as the fields go near us, right? We're probably not going to have a field that's all the way across the map, right? Just, I want to keep it, you know, kind of fitting the theme of what we're trying to accomplish here, which is that we are going to own a large brewing farm, right? And normally you would have your fields all be relatively close. Not always, but normally you would have them all be close. And if we're going to kind of make it seem or feel like, and this is really what I'm trying to get at, make it seem or feel like it's like a complex, right? Like you would if you were going to go to a winery, right? You've got all the different, you know, fields and everything that are all, you know, in the same area. You're not driving far out of the way normally for something like that. I think it's in our best interest when we expand is to buy fields that are in the vicinity that we're in right now versus going and buying a field way up here or way down here for that matter, right? Can be done? Yes, it can be done. Just maybe not the best fit for us right now. Anyway, we are doing precision farming. I don't know if I specifically called that out in the last episode. It's pretty obvious we were doing precision farming, but we are doing precision farming. We mostly always do precision farming at this point now that it's active and live. You know, the only time we don't do that is that whenever I take on a series that's not part of the rules, right? But most of the time, whenever I'm running a series or I do a series, I do precision farming. So we're doing precision farming here. I will say that we are not playing on hard difficulty here. We are going to play on normal difficulty. Just makes things a little bit easier, especially since the fact that we're not doing an episode or we're not, you know, doing something every single month. We're going to be skipping months around and things like that. So it's just going to make our life a little bit easier. It's still going to be difficult. It's still going to be very, very difficult to get all of this running and you know, working as properly as I want it to work. But just going to be completely honest with you, it's not on hard. I almost always do hard. Almost always am I doing hard difficulty, but we're not doing it here in this case. A couple other notes. I did have to remove part of the fence. I don't know if you can see it. I might do trees and everything in the way. But anyway, where I put down the gravel, I did remove part of the fence there. Another note is that up here, for whatever reason, there's no fence here. So I guess that was something that just kind of went into disrepair, and they never fixed that either, I guess. But I you know, I kind of would like to. And honestly, you know, the fence that we have kind of around the grounds that we own here, it's not bad. There's nothing wrong with the fence. But I think we could probably do a little bit better of adding something that looks a little bit more, well, I was going to say expensive, but professional, really, I guess is what I'll use. There's nothing wrong with the fence at all that I'm talking about that is already here, right? There is nothing wrong with it. It's just your standard chicken wire type of fence with posts. Nothing wrong with it at all. I think we can make it look a little bit better, right? I can think we can make it look a little bit more appealing, like you would see, you know, if you're going to go to a grapevine and things like that, right? I think you can make it look a little bit better than that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it at all, but it's just chicken wire and posts, right? I think we can do a little bit better. I think we can just make standard wood fence, right, with wood beams going between them, or whatever we decide to do, right? So I think that's going to be kind of a side objective for myself here for this series, is to add in some different type of fences that just look a little bit better overall, right? All right, did we have 2 headland passes or 3? 3, okay, perfect. Now, real quick, if you haven't done so already, this is a shameless plug for my other channel. If you haven't done so already, check out my other channel. There's a link down below. I'm actively, at the time of this recording, playing through Halo Campaign Evolved. I'm very, very excited about it. I've mentioned it a number of times, I know already, in recent episodes, and I won't bring it up a whole lot more than that. But if it's something that interests you, maybe give my other channel a follow. I don't do anything with Farming Simulator on my other channel. It is more single-player type of playthroughs, occasionally a challenge series, or occasionally something that's not like a campaign type of playthrough. But that's typically what I do, and enjoy that a lot. So if it's something that interests you and you want to see some other things that I'm doing, maybe go check it out. I do not normally do releases every single day on that channel. I can tell you that. It's normally every couple of days, every 2-3 days, something like that. When a new game comes out that I buy, which I bought the Halo campaign Evolved, of course, in this instance, but when a new game comes out, I try to get every day if I can, but, I mean, it's always time permitting, right? So, anyway, enough about that. You're here to watch farming, not that. So, we've almost got this field done. We've got pretty much that field done. Now, to be fair, we do need to put some lime down on both of these fields. Now, really, I probably should put the lime down first, but the game doesn't really care, so we're gonna do it whichever way we want to do it, I guess, right? So it's not that big of a deal, but we probably should have put some lime down. And again, right now, it doesn't really make a difference. It doesn't really matter that, you know, I split the fields up. I could have left it as one more massive field, but for the future, I just wanted to go ahead and kind of clean it up and get it prepped and set, so that way I don't have to worry about it later on. So I went ahead and did that now. Because in the future, like I said, we'll probably have, you know, eventually, at least until we buy more land, we'll probably have 4 fields running at the same time, and those 4 fields will, you know, maybe even more, but at least 4 fields running, counting the small grass field over here that we're going to kind of take care of. And, you know, we'll have 2 of them as barley and 2 of them as wheat, right? So that way we can run both operations. We can run the amber lager and we can run the light lager, right, at the same time. So, but for the time being, as I mentioned, we're going to go just strictly, specifically wheat right now. Let's just try to get our bearings a little bit. Let's get everything back up and operational first before we start, you know, expanding our product line with an amber beer as well, right? Seems like a lot of the members were pretty excited about this series, though. It's a different type of series. You know, I like to do these every once in a while. I think they're fun, where you just kind of get something that's kind of abandoned and you try to bring it back to life. I think it's a lot of fun. That's what we did with the Aqua Farm series. Had a lot of fun with that series as well, right? So, I would love in real life to actually own a brewery. I think it would be pretty fun. Like, it's always been something I thought about would be a fun thing to do, but, you know, I just don't see a way that that's probably going to happen, and I guess until I'm super old, maybe then, maybe. But right now, though, it's probably not the best time to open up a brewery anyway, and in real life I'm talking about right now, because I do believe the kids nowadays aren't even really drinking that much. But anyway, you can still find your different areas that you could put one in and it would be successful, right? An area where there's not a whole lot of other breweries, or if none at all even, but there's a lot of people, right? You can still find some spots where you probably could be successful, but yeah, I'm a big I do love beer in general. I'm a big amber fan, actually, so that's one of the main reasons why I do want to get this amber going. I know in the last episode I talked about, you know, trying to be self-sufficient, and we are going to try to be self-sufficient when it comes to the light beer, but for that amber beer, you know, we need to have some kind of a sugar operation, and really we do not have the resources to do a sugar operation, and I really don't want to spend the effort to do a sugar operation. So we'll just outsource the sugar. We'll just go buy it. I mean, most of what we would be putting into it anyway would be, you know, directly from us, besides that sugar. So now, as far as where we're going to put the pigs, right? We pretty much made the decision now we're going to do pigs. I don't know where I'm going to put the pigs at, to be honest with you. Oh, by the way, here's the trailer that I bought. It's just a standard type of trailer, the Marshall trailer. That came out with that pack. It's nice. Any bigger than that, I think we would struggle, given the size of the map here and how tight some of these corners are. And honestly, that one on the way back, it was a little sketchy a couple of times on the way back there. It was a little bit of a tighter turn than I was expecting. I thought it was going to be plenty short enough, but it really wasn't. But anyway, so pig-wise, I don't know. I mean, I guess we could put them over here in the grass field. I guess we could not turn this into a grass field and make this a pig area, but that would be quite large, right? And if we're going to do some kind of a petting area, you would think you'd want to put them up here, but at the same time, I don't want it to be up here because we're going to have this area that I'm kind of envisioning still being like a sitting area, you know, outside picnic area. You don't really want to smell pigs while you're out there drinking. Well, maybe you do. I don't know. I wouldn't want to. I don't think so. I think it probably makes sense to put them elsewhere. I'm not quite sure exactly where I want to put them yet. I guess it's going to... The rain stopped. I guess it's just going to depend on, how things move along here, how we get things built up, sheds, everything else. I guess we'll just kind of make a decision at that point where we're going to put them. It's not going to be anytime soon, before we really need to have pigs. We've got to wait for all of these to be ready to harvest. And then we can really start, kicking off the pigs, right? So, but until then, it really, I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense for us to put down right now. We'd have to go buy the pig food outright right now, and instead of, self-sufficient, being self-sufficient when it comes to, taking care of the pigs ourselves, right? And really, we're not going to be doing a big, massive pig enclosure here. Maybe we should. If you guys are saying that you're going to get as much pig food as you're saying I'm going to get, maybe we should do a bigger pig enclosure thing. And maybe we still could, right? Maybe we could just do a smaller one that would be more of like your petting zoo type of area. But then you have a bigger operation, right? And that big operation really could help with the fields, right? We could put some natural manure down and slurry, etc., right? So, I don't know. We'll see, right? We'll see how we move along. We'll figure it out as we get closer. But it's a thought that I wasn't really thinking about until literally just now. So this series is going to be released as of now, as of this episode. It will be released every Sunday and Wednesday. We did the first episode yesterday, which was Saturday. Just as a special, since we just started the series, I wanted to do a special this weekend and have the 2 episodes on Friday, or not Friday, on Saturday and Sunday, be released. But as we move forward, it's going to be a 2 episodes a week type of series. And also announce here with this one that the Can You Survive 25 series is going to be put on a small pause hiatus, if you will, for probably about 2 months. Somewhere into September, maybe October, we'll be kicking that one back up again. It'll be exactly where we left it off at. It's not going to change. We're not going to modify anything. It's not going to be anything like that. It's going to be exactly where we left it. We're just going to take a bit of a break on that one in favor of this series that I really wanted to get out and do. So, I will say, as I mentioned before, that the Z's Adventure will continue after this, and after this, you can fully expect us, as I was kind of mentioning previously, that we are going to be going home. This is just a bit of a pit stop on the way home, if you will. So you will see that very, very soon, as a matter of fact. That will happen probably immediately after this series ends, or very near it. I just needed a little bit more time on that series to get it set up properly. As I mentioned, there's a lot more work to get it set up and actually looking the way that I was hoping for it to look, if that makes sense. There's just a lot of prep work that needed to be done, and I didn't want to rush it, right? And I felt like I was kind of rushing it to try to get one out, this weekend or even Wednesday of this coming week. So I didn't really want to do that because of that reason. So that is the main reason why we are doing this series. Not that I am upset about doing this series. I was already on my plans to do anyway. It just mattered when I was going to be doing it. And so we just kind of made the decision that it was in our best interest to give that other one a little bit more time for me to work through it, especially given all the other real-life circumstances that are going on, and it gives me plenty of time now to really set it up the way that I want it to be set up, and there's just, like I said, there's a lot more effort that goes into it. It will make all the sense in the world once you see it, I hope, I think. Not to say that this one didn't take any effort. It did take effort, but it was more defined effort. In other words, I knew exactly kind of what I was planning on doing, and then when I loaded this map up, again, thanks to my members, when I loaded this map up, it was obvious, man. These 2 plots of land here that we purchased, this one and this one, there was nothing on them. It was like it was primed for this series. So, yeah, worked out really well. Worked out really, really well. Okay, both of those fields have been drilled. Now, we got to put some lime down on them. And I guess I should have had this on. I didn't. Sorry. so you can actually see what's going on. But we can go in here and we can actually take a peek at that, and you can see, you know, how we did, I guess. There you go. Green. Ooh, there's a little strip missed. Ooh, did we miss something? We might have missed something there. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, we're out of fertilizer. I did not even notice we were out of fertilizer. That's why there was a strip there missed. There's that whole last strip. Okay, well, it just means we're going to put fertilizer down in the next episode, and that, you know what, that's fine. Right? It's not a huge deal because we're going to have the fertilizer to put down anyway, right? Okay, so we want to get the spreader. Now, it does still have a little bit of lime in there, but we are going to need a lot more lime than what's there, so that's the reason why I bought so much. We may still need more. I hope we don't, but we may still need more. Let's use the case here. Let's use the case here. Okay, I'm wrong. I thought I said lime in there, but I guess we didn't. We must have used it all. Never mind. So, just real quick, I'll pull off to the side here so you can see what I'm talking about. Like, there's nothing wrong with this, but it's just chicken wire and wood posts, right? I think there's an opportunity here for us. It's going to cost a lot of money, but I think there's an opportunity for us to, you know, make it look a little bit more, like a little nicer, right? Something like this, even like that's very basic, but it just looks nice, right? You get what I mean. I just think there's an opportunity for us to make the actual fence line look a little bit better than it does. So I'm going to kind of make that as a, like I said, as a side objective for us, right? Is to add in, you know, something like this, right? So anyway, enough about the fence. We'll do that. That's a very much a long tier objective here. We've got a lot of other things that we need to accomplish first and foremost before we do that. So, all right, let's get some lime here. Now this might be actually difficult for me to grab. I hope I can get close enough to the right spot. Yep. Now we have a forklift. We don't necessarily need the forklift right now, but we probably will soon enough once we start, you know, getting the actual brewery up and running. Again, we are a ways out before that happens. There's really no reason for us to get it up and running any earlier than that. What we can do is kind of work around it, make sure all the pipes and everything are set up properly. You know, make sure everything is, in essence, working properly. You don't have to modify anything, change anything, fix anything, right? So we'll see as we move along here. Looks like the pH value, there's not a whole lot needed for this field, which actually is a good thing, right? So the pH value is relatively good already as it is. Very small amount we're putting on there. Very small amount. But here you can see the fence kind of comes out here, and then it just randomly stops for whatever reason. I'm not sure why. There's no fence the remaining way here, but you know, we'll clean it up. We'll get it fixed. We'll get it. We'll make sure that it looks good as we continue to move forward here. This one needs a little bit more down here. We're getting that nice tealish blue color down here as well. A lot of pH really needed for this type of ground here, and as you can see, we're chewing through the lime a lot quicker down here as well. Alright, I'm not really sure why we're going that way, but whatever. I'll just take over manually here. We're going to run out of lime. Almost. We almost got that field done. Almost. Now, as far as the shed goes and what I want to put down here, I'm not quite sure yet. I haven't really made that decision up fully yet. Nope. Nope, that's not what we wanted. I was afraid of that, honestly. That's alright, we'll have to just clean it up as we move along. But anyway, not quite sure what shed I want to do. I just want to make sure that the shed is, you know, sufficient enough to hold what we really need to hold. And really what we need to hold is the harvester the drill, probably, the fertilizer and lime spreader. That's really the main three. Everything else can really stay outside if it had to. Obviously, we would like to keep it undercover if we can, but everything else could stay outside. It's not a huge deal. Especially if there's anything in this spreader. We definitely want to keep that undercover, right? Another nudes, it is poker night tonight for me, and last week I actually did well. I won the whole thing, which was different, because I haven't won the whole thing in a while. I've been having a really bad couple of sessions here, the last two, but yeah, dominated last week, so that was nice. And evidently we're too far away from the segment, okay. Well, maybe not now, maybe that I reset it, maybe not now. Probably still thought we were on the other field. Yeah, this is a different type of field here as well. You can see there's areas there where it's going to be that dark tealish blue color, and then the rest of it's just more of a lime green color. So I would expect when we turn around here and start making our trip backwards, we are going to have an area where we're going to be putting in a lot more lime. Looks like we should, in theory, have enough lime, though, to do the rest of this field, which is a good thing. I was a little concerned that we might not have enough, but looks like we're going to. Sorry about the camera angle there. The game is similar to the last episode. Camera angles are just going to be hard to do on this series because of how hilly these are, and it just changes. It forces the camera to move in different angles, right? So I'll do the best I can to try to keep it relatively easy to view, but it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be perfect. Need a little more lime. So I'm glad I bought 4 pallets. It looks like we're going to need at least 3 of them here. Well, just probably 3 of them, honestly. But it's good to have an extra one. That's the reason why I bought the trailer, was just so we could head up there and buy in bulk, if you will. I will not be doing any kind of a buying silo of any sort on this series. Try to keep it relatively realistic, where we have to go to the shop and buy stuff. And since we're going to eventually start to outsource, a bit of the amber beer to be able to buy the sugar, I think it makes a lot of sense for us to have a trailer so we can go up there and get that, right? All right, so that is done. Now, I don't think we need any kind of nitrogen or any sort for over there. We don't. Not really, at least. Yeah, so things are looking good. And tell you what, gang, we're going to leave the episode at this point. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you smash the like, subscribe button in the case you've yet to do so. They are free to do. It helps me out an absolute ton. If you have any thoughts, questions, comments, ideas, let me know down below. I'm happy to get back to you on those. Thanks to my members for all of their continued support. It really does mean the world. If you want early access to videos like this one, there's a link down below where you can consider becoming a member. Check out the second channel, like I mentioned. Check out the Discord. Everything, as always, is down below for you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support, as always. And I'll see you next time.